right? So those who are not able to join can always listen later. Okay,
Sure.
great. So let's not keep you waiting for too long. I do know that you've taken so much time out of your busy schedule to be
No,
here.
no,
So
it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to always speak with Dual Mint and you as well.
great, great. So amazing. Today's theme is Beyond Hype: The Real World Benefits of Tokenization. And my name is Solomon, Events Manager for Dual Mint. And for those who will be listening now and even later, Tisha, could you please introduce yourself and emphasize your expertise?
Sure. Thank you, Solomon. I'm Tushar Kansal, the founder and CEO of Kansaltancy Ventures. We started in 2016, and prior to that, I was in the Big Four, Deloitte Touche, also in India's largest venture capital fund by the number of deals called Brand Capital. And I raised $2.5 billion of debt for the Russian telecom company MTS while I was heading the treasury there. And lastly, I was chief financial officer of a company owned by the American private equity fund Guggenheim Partners. I have a background in venture capital, debt, consulting, virtual CFO, and strategic services. I have supported over 5,000 startups and growth stage companies and five VC funds as well, with deals ranging from USD 1 to 50 million. I also contribute to a portfolio of 365 startups in 15 sectors across 63 countries through a Canadian venture capital fund. So this is about me, and my insights are often featured in leading channels and publications. I've delivered over 300 talks and events. Thank you,
Wow.
Solo.
Wow, Tisha. Wow. That's a lot. Amazing. Amazing.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, I mean that just tells me that you've had quite a bit of expertise and a lot of experience in building firms from the ground, and of course providing advisory services and consultancy. Correct?
Right, absolutely right.
Great. So I would be milking all of those experiences, and of course trying to gain as much insights as I possibly can
Sure.
from you in terms of what we're discussing, which is real world benefits of tokenization, right?
Right.
But before we go ahead, it's always good to have you, Johnson Kennedy, on our spaces. Thank you so much for joining. And then I
My
see
pleasure.
Mr. Kirian. Thank you so much for joining us. So yeah, to show let's just start with this icebreaker, right?
Sure.
Because I mean, you are someone who's had a, a lot of experience working with firms in a variety of sectors and in a
Right.
lot of countries. So, in layman's terms, how would you define tokenization? And I really would like for you to like chip in all of your experience into this definition for those who do not exactly know tokenization is.
Sure. Thank you so much. It's a very good question. So basically, tokenization is a game changer for both businesses and individuals. A lot of stuff has been said about tokenization. There is a lot of content in the on the internet, but by and large, a lot of people they are not able to understand what tokenization is. So let me explain it in simple words. Tokenization is the process of converting something of value into a digital token that can be traded, stored, or used within a specific ecosystem, often using blockchain technology. So these tokens they represent ownership of the asset or right to access a service. And tokenization is a game changer because it offers several benefits. For one, fractional ownership of valuable assets, which I'll explain a bit later, increased liquidity, transparency, and security through blockchain technology. It also offers lowering of costs associated with traditional asset trading and access to global markets. So, overall, tokenization has the potential to democratize access to investments, increase market efficiency, and create new opportunities for businesses and individuals alike. Now, for business, how can businesses leverage tokenization strategically? Uh, I'll give you an example. Suppose you have a land parcel somewhere in the UK, and you want larger pool of investors to look at it to compete with each other. You also want that your transaction should be totally secure, and the right over that asset, it should safely get transferred from the seller to you, and all the documentation and the proof of ownership resides in the form of a digital format, which you can access and understand. Your lawyers can see through it. So the first benefit of tokenization strategically is fundraising and capital raising. So that particular plot of land in the UK, you can convert it into a token, and that token will be on blockchain technology. So it will have the legacy proof of all the owners of the land starting from day zero. Tokenization will allow businesses to raise capital by tokenizing not only real estate but also stuff like artwork or company equity. So this can attract a large pool of investors, because if your token is there on the internet, then the whole world can, investors from across the world can look at it, can be very secure that they are buying a genuine contract and a genuine asset. And many times, those who don't have access to traditional investment opportunities, they can be the investors in your asset. So one is fundraising and capital raising. The second is increased liquidity, which is very obvious. So that you tokenize the asset, then the businesses can create a secondary market where that token can be traded. So this increases the liquidity of the assets and makes it easier for investors to buy and sell the assets. The third is fractional ownership. Uh, if I were to explain you this, suppose there is that UK plot of land is worth 5 million euros. You don't have the money to pay 5 million euros, but you have an understanding that this plot of land will increase in value within 5 years to 10 million euros. So instead of buying the whole 5 million euros worth of land, you can own a fraction of it. You can invest 100,000 euros, take a percentage stake in that token, and you'll be a fractional owner of the asset. So tokenization enables businesses to divide assets into smaller, more affordable units. So this allows a broader range of investors to participate in asset ownership. The fourth thing
Super.
is automated compliance. Uh, as I said, you want to be very sure that the transaction is does not have any issues, and so smart contracts can be used to enforce compliance with regulations automatically. So this reduces the administrative burden and the costs associated with compliance. Uh, Transparency also improves because blockchain technology keeps all the records in a ledger, and it provides a transparent and immutable record of transactions. This can improve trust amongst investors and other stakeholders. And lastly, it's a new business model. Tokenization opens up the possibilities for new business models such as loyalty programs, where tokens can be used to reward customer behavior. Solomon,
Amazing, amazing to share. And I really
thank
like how you've really segmented each of the different advantages that businesses can get when they leverage tokenization. I mean,
thank you.
you've gone from talking about getting access beyond traditional investment opportunities, and that's really super because sometimes businesses play around in sectors where they are big names and they can't exactly compete with these guys. So it's important to, take advantage of technologies to level the field, as it were. And that's what you talked about. Increase to investors, and then there's
Right.
automated compliance and all of that. I mean, super, really nice stuff.
Thank you.
So, um, again, I'm gonna leverage on your experience now with this question that I'd like to ask, because you've taken a holistic view at it, and you've talked about tokenization in itself. Now, what would you recommend for businesses who probably are still traditional in a sense in their methods, but they are interested in tokenization? What would you recommend as a starting point for these businesses? I'd like you to answer from like two different perspectives. One, in terms of technology, what would you recommend is a starting point for them? And then in terms of partner selection, because sometimes these businesses are not tech businesses, right? So,
Right.
could you take that?
Sure. Thank you so much. It's a very, very valid question, and I would like to answer it again by giving pointers as to how tokenization can impact traditional businesses, and and also how the whole market opens up with tokenization, and also with regards to the technology. So the first thing which tokenization does is that it offers a new way to raise capital. So, you are there in the market, you are tapping traditional investors, you are tapping the old guard, the traditional industries like steel, cement, the families who run these industries. And uh, then, suddenly you find a new way of raising money, and that is on the internet by tokenization. So you can easily fractionalize the ownership of the asset, and allow the business to attract a larger pool of investors. And a lot of these platforms which offer these tokens, they are standardized platforms which a large pool of investors believe in, and they have already done their due diligence. They already understand that this is a genuine platform, and in fact, they would be knowing a large part of the investors who are trading on that platform. So the trust factor and the authenticity is there, and the compliance towards the local laws and regulations is also there. The second thing is liquidity. As I said, liquidity increases because the tokens can be traded on the secondary markets more easily. If suppose you have a 5% of a token, of an asset through a token, you can easily sell it again on the platform. It is much easier to sell than if you were supposed having physical paper proof of your ownership of a land parcel. Then a tokenized asset is much easier to sell on the secondary market. The third thing is efficiency. Tokenization can streamline processes like asset transfer and compliance, and reduce the administrative burdens and costs. So you can imagine, in the past, in the traditional way, you have to go to a office of the government, get all paperwork done, and then pay the duties, the stamp duty, the custom duties, and the taxes. But here we are making it very streamlined over the internet, so the cost also goes down, and transparency is more because, as I said, blockchain based tokenization, that is the technology bit. The underlying uh, technology below tokenization is blockchain, which provides a transparent record of ownership and transactions, and this also increases trust among investors. Innovation happens automatically because once you are tokenizing the asset, you are opening up new possibilities for new business models. Like, instead of tokenizing an asset, you can tokenize a revenue stream. So you can securitize, like capitalize the revenue coming from a particular business, or you can also create loyalty programs. And the biggest advantage of tokenization, apart from the technology and ease of transaction, is the global reach, because tokenization can help businesses reach a global audience of investors, breaking down geographical barriers. Efficiency also increases, because fundraising and asset transfer and compliance, they all require a chain of people usually. So each person has a role to fulfill, but we are breaking down the chain and transacting over the internet. So that also reduces the time taken to do the transaction using tokenization. And I feel that just as crypto has taken, it's going on a bull market, and the underlying reason is that people know that the underlying technology is secure, the blockchain is secure. So I feel that tokenization will also take off, because in this world there is a large amount of assets and revenue streams and all these cash flows which are available, which are wanted by investors, but they are not able to access. So tokenization will open up this market in a big way, and just like crypto has is booming, tokenization will also boom even more from here on.
Great. Now, that's one part of the question to share. And again, forgive me, but
Yeah,
I'm trying to really tap into all of your knowledge here, all
sure.
right? Um, and like I already know, and for those who do not, Tushar consults for a lot of startups and a lot of businesses, especially when you're trying to get into a completely different sector.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tushar, with regards to, again, back to businesses who are trying to adopt tokenization here, remember that our team here is beyond the hype,
Right.
the real world benefits. So, not all businesses can really have all of the technology that's needed. Sometimes they need partners. So, what would you recommend they should look out for if they are trying to get partners to onboard them onto the tokenization side of things?
Right. Got it. Understood. Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't answer it earlier much
No, it's
better.
fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's totally
So,
fine.
you have to choose partners with an expertise in blockchain technology, with an expertise in the tokenization, and the expertise in regulatory compliance, so that you can navigate the complexities of tokenization. Uh, so you have to understand the basis of blockchain technology and how it is being used for tokenization. Like I said, uh, blockchain stores all the records of legacy transactions and ownerships which happened in a particular asset. Now, if you understand this part, then you would know that you are dealing with a smart ledger, and hence the transfer which is happening to you is secure and has already been tested for compliance. And For tokenization, you have to identify assets. Just like you select partners with expertise in blockchain technology and regulatory compliance, you have to identify assets as well that could benefit from tokenization. Like, you have to consider factors like liquidity, divisibility, and regulatory considerations. Developing a clear strategy for tokenization is also very important, including the goals and the target assets and the regulatory considerations. And execution has to be perfect, so you need to iterate again and again so as to deliver a very crisp execution. So you have to implement the the strategy for tokenization, monitor its performance, and then basis the feedback and results, iterate the whole strategy. For individuals, what I feel is that tokenization empowers individuals in managing their assets or investments more effectively. So it not only helps the businesses, it helps the individuals as well. For excuse me, for example, it allows individuals to own fractional shares of high value assets. it can allow the individual to trade on secondary markets. It can allow individuals to diversify their investment portfolio. So suppose a person was investing only in stock markets. Here, he gets a chance to invest in real estate, in revenue generating businesses, in cash flows of revenue generating businesses, in loyalty programs across sectors and geographies. Excuse me.
So sorry about that. Sorry,
Yeah.
Tushar.
And transparency is there. Blockchain based tokenization, it provides an immutable record of ownership and transactions, which enhances trust and reduces the risk of fraud. And accessibility, as I said, it is online, and previously only institutional investors had access to quality assets through investment bankers and through traditional financial advisors and investment bankers. But now the platform allows anyone uh, to financialize their investments and to participate in high quality assets through tokenization. And not only high net worth individuals, but also the common man, as we say, can also participate in these type of assets and invest in these type of assets. But I have a caveat here, which is that an individual looking to engage with tokenized assets, you should understand the risks. Like any investment, tokenized assets come with risks. So it is essential to understand the risks associated with tokenization, like regulatory uncertainty, excuse me, market volatility, and technological risks. So you have to do your due diligence before investing in any tokenized asset. Conduct a thorough research on the asset, the issuing company, and the underlying technology. Look for information on the asset's valuation, market demand, and potential for growth. Also, like we always talk about risk and return. So when we talk about the risk part, consider diversification. So diversifying your investment portfolio can help mitigate risk. Consider investing in a variety of tokenized assets across different sectors and geographies. Don't shy away from seeking professional advice. If you are new to investing or unsure about a particular tokenized asset, consider seeking advice from a financial advisor or investment professional, excuse me, who can provide guidance based on your financial goals and risk tolerance. And lastly, stay informed. The blockchain and tokenization space is rapidly evolving. So stay informed about the latest developments, regulations, and trends in the tokenization space to make informed investment decisions. Solomon.
Super. Take care. Please take care, Tushar. Take care. I'm gonna give you some time. Maybe you need some water or something. And anytime what Tushar is getting water, just to really think what Tushar has mentioned in relation to what we do here at Dwellment. So at Dwellment, we pride ourselves as being a fantastic partner for businesses who are already in Web 2 but trying to get on board to the Web 3. What we do is through our dual provenance protocol, we ensure that the physical assets of these businesses it can get tokenized and become digital so that there's a digital representation. And so we ensure there is authenticity for the buyers, and then there is a wider market appeal and the immutability of the blockchain for the sellers, right? And like Tushar said, for people who may not know about tokenization that much, it's important for them to be educated, it's important for them to seek professional opinions, which is why at Dual Means we're keen on two key things about us, and they are education and our community. As such, every week we have two spaces, 2 days every week on Tuesdays and on Fridays, where we discuss, pretty much provide educative insights on tokenization, on our project, and all of the wonderful and amazing benefits that come with the Web3 and tokenization to the specific. We believe that by providing education, it would breed adoption and it will get more and more people to, jump on this train of tokenization so that they see the value that it brings. But more than that, we also think that as we keep educating our community, we're building pioneers, as it were, a pioneering community of people who would advance the value of tokenization to even more brands and to their small circles, hoping that these small circles will grow to becoming larger circles that would preach the gospel of tokenization to the world. Because the truth is, there's so much value that tokenization brings for both businesses and individuals. And that's why we have Tushar here to really detail down on these benefits for businesses separately and then for individuals separately. Now, Tushar,
Yeah.
are you good
Yeah,
now?
good. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Great. So you already talked about the benefits of tokenization for businesses. It's now important to talk about the benefits of tokenization for individuals now, and for each and every person who's listening to us now, and who will be listening to us much later. It's important for them to know what the benefits of tokenization and how it applies to them. Uh, so, how would you say tokenization empowers individuals in managing their assets or investments more effectively?
Yeah, that's a very valid point, Solomon. So the thing is, if we were talking about land parcel in the UK. Now suppose there was a person who owns the land parcel, and he does not have access to pricey, costly investment bankers and financial advisors and consultants who can take his asset to the high net worth individuals, to the wealth management firms who have the money to pay a good value for the asset. So that individual today can make use of tokenization and get access to investors from throughout the world by this technology. For example, he can tokenize the asset, then he can fractionalize it, convert it into small fractions, and then put them on the platform. And he will have access to rich investors, not only maybe from UK but also from Europe, from Asia, including China, Japan, and the Middle East, like Saudis and the UAE, and so from excuse me, from everywhere. So this will enable individuals to invest in assets that would otherwise be inaccessible, or many times they require a significant upfront investment. So that upfront investment won't be required. Secondly, excuse me. Secondly, tokenized assets can be traded on secondary markets. Um, so it's not like he sells to somebody, and because the cost of transacting that asset, the stamp duty and the government taxes is so much that that particular person feels that he cannot sell it again and again. But because it is fractionalized, because it is so easy to sell, because the transaction is secure, the person buying the asset can anytime do a secondary transaction, buy his fraction, sell his fraction to somebody else. Excuse me. Then, as I said, it gives you access to global markets. It also gives you transparency through blockchain. And the biggest part is efficiency, because all these things, asset transfer, trading, and settlement, there's a lot of administrative work and cost. So that becomes easier, and it becomes more cost effective for individuals to manage their investments. And with the passage of time, since tokenization has been around since a long time now, long as in like some years, so people are more informed about the regulatory compliance. So There are legal counsels easily available who specialize in blockchain and securities law, and they ensure compliance with relevant regulations such as securities law, anti-money laundering, and know your customer requirements. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Take care,
Yeah,
sir. Please take
yeah.
care.
Secondly, uh, there are people who have been dealing in tokenization. They understand the security risks, so they implement robust security measures to protect the tokenized assets from theft or fraud. They, secure wallets and smart contracts, regular security audits, and educated stakeholders and best practices for securing digital assets. They are all there. The third thing is token valuation. Uh, there are clear valuation models for tokenizing the assets based on market demand, utility, and scarcity, and the potential for appreciation in the token and the overall market conditions that is also taken into account. And already, because tokenization went hand in hand with blockchain. So there is sufficient liquidity in the market for tokenized assets. People engage with exchanges and liquidity providers to facilitate trading and improve market liquidity. There is a lot of education and awareness about the benefits and risks of tokenization, the understanding of blockchain technology and the potential applications. And there is a lot of participation in the tokenized economy through these education and awareness campaigns, which have been done since the last so many years. And the best part is transparency and governance. There are clear governance structures which ensure transparency in token issuance and management. Smart contracts is one to which automates governance processes and provides stakeholders with visibility in the token ecosystem. So all these things are there, and I feel that we talked about internet at one point in time in 1990s. So today we are talking about revolutionizing the purchase and sale of any asset or money generating cash flow class through the use of technology, and that is tokenization.
Amazing. Thank you so much to share for this insight. So you really have detailed in terms of efficiency now
Right.
how assets and investments should be for individuals and how tokenization plays a huge role in that. But then I do know that there are challenges because you said something earlier when you were talking about businesses. You did say that no risk, no reward, right? There's always that impending risk around.
Right.
So, what would you say are the most pressing challenges that both businesses now and individuals would face when it comes to tokenization, and how would you recommend that you navigate this?
Yeah, that's a very valid question, Solomon. See, I mean, you have to be very aware about the regulatory compliance. Uh, so if you don't understand the technology, then there should be a legal counsel specializing in blockchain and securities law who ensures that you are on the right side of uh, anti-money laundering regulations and know your customer requirements and securities laws. So, if you are dealing with a large transaction, then you should be aware of the laws around this. Then, security measures like two-factor authentication and password protected wallets and cyber security methods to protect your tokenized assets from theft or fraud. So you should know how to use secure wallets and smart contracts, and you should conduct regular security audits. Your platform should also conduct regular security audits, and you should read about best practices for securing digital assets. Thirdly, you should know about the valuation model of your tokenized asset. which is usually based on market demand, utility, and scarcity, and and that will give you an idea about the potential for appreciation in your token. Um, then you should know that which are the good exchanges with the name in the market, and where there is a lot of liquidity, a lot of investors sitting on those exchanges, and which exchanges are facilitating trading and improving market liquidity. Which exchanges are creating market making programs to enhance the liquidity. So you should not get into the wrong hands. Then you should read and know a bit about blockchain technology as well. I would strongly suggest, and so that your participation in the tokenized economy, you can be more educated and aware about that. And lastly, I feel that you should clearly know where the platform is operating in a regulation, in a jurisdiction which has clear governance structures and ensure transparency in token issuance and management. And those smart contracts should also be used by the platform itself for automating governance processes and providing stakeholders with visibility in the token ecosystem. So all these 6 factors are the challenges and my recommendations on them.
Super, super, Tushar. Really, really sorry about
No, I'm
cough.
really sorry. And
I
I
do
don't know,
hope that
my throat is holding up
you
today.
find time to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Really sorry about that. Really sorry about that. So yeah, having said all of these things, you mentioned the challenges, and you mentioned how we could, go around that. So I'd really like to get your last comments on real world benefits of tokenization here. It's been amazing having this time with you. But what are your practical recommendations to anybody who is considering tokenization, who hasn't heard about it? I mean, what recommendations would you give this person? Just as a few last words.
Well, Solomon, I'll give you a simple example.
Okay.
If my friend who's a Chinese based in China, and since the last 1.5 years, he has been seeing the real estate going down, and he has been seeing the stock markets in China going down, and he wonders like how to protect the value of his investments. Then he sees the US Nasdaq and New York Stock Exchange, and he sees that there are 7 stocks which never go down, and the value of those companies have increased to more than $1 trillion, and still it is still going up. So he feels that why is he not able to participate in that, the growth of those stocks, those 7 stocks. And that's when he jumps over to his broker, and that's when he says that I want to open an account to trade in the US stocks. So this is just an example. Now today you have an asset, and you feel that your asset is huge, but because it is huge, if you don't list that asset onto a platform or a exchange where a lot of liquidity is available, where a lot of quality investors with deep pockets are available, and the investors are there because they know that this platform conducts genuine transactions at a low cost and at a fast speed. So, naturally, if those investors who are rich and who are very well informed, who have a a whole legal team to back them, they are present on that platform. Naturally, you will find a way to list your asset onto that platform, and the best way and the only way, which is smart and secure, is through tokenization. And that will also allow more liquidity because you can fractionalize the asset and make it accessible to smaller investors. It will assure all the investors about the genuineness of the transaction because it is smart contract based. And for you, it is a big benefit because you can get the right price, because the investors who are buying can do a secondary transaction anytime after buying it from you. So the whole, in a way, your access to stock market type liquidity is there, which is usually not there to people who are not from the financial services industry. And so the common man can make use of this technology and this process, and get the real benefits of uh, what the Wall Street investors get. So the real street is now closer to Wall Street.
Hmm. The real street is now closer to Wall Street. That's a punchline, Tushar.
Right.
And that is what tokenization makes possible. Thank you so much for your time, Tushar. It was really nice
My
having
pleasure.
you. I do know that if people have questions, I'm going to give like 1 or 2 minutes to see if those on the audience have questions.
Sure.
And after that, we'll be calling it a day here,
Sure.
Tushar. Thank
Thank you.
you again so much
Thank you.
for your
My
time.
pleasure.
So
I'll wait for the questions.
great. So let's just give 1 minute. If you have questions, you can type it in the comment box, or you can just raise your hand and I'll give you the mic. Give your question. Okay.